There is no question that the Mariners offense is on a roll. Seattle has won 4 in a row and is scoring runs in bunches. After a series win in Houston earlier this week, the Mariners have scattered the ball all over the diamond here at the Coliseum, taking the first 2 games of the series. Today, the A's will try and salvage the final game of the series, and the green and gold debut of Sean Nolan is set to take place. The offseason acquisition will get the ball and try to slow down the Mariners. Final game of the series, A's, M's, next. Sunday afternoon baseball from the O.Co Coliseum. The A's trying to salvage the final game of this series. And today we get our first look at Sean Nolan, the left-hander who's going to make his A's debut today. It's the third and final game of the series. The Mariners and the Athletics coming up on CSN California. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Eric Chavez, I'm Glenn Kuiper. So Sean Nolan today, he's left-handed. He's 25 years old, big part of that trade for Josh Donaldson. And he was hurt in spring training, Eric, so we really didn't see him a lot. But today we get our first look at him, and I know everybody's looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. And there was 4 pieces in that trade, and he was the biggest piece that Billy Beane and company wanted. So he's very important to this rotation. He's the only left-handed starter that can really fit in 2016. They got a bunch of young right-handers. And what are we going to see from Nolan today? Well, he mixes up his fastball really good. He's got a changeup. He was doing some work with Barry Zito with his curveball and his grip. And he knows how to pitch. He's a crafty lefty. His windup kind of reminds me of Andy Pettitte just a little bit.
Well, if he has those kind of results, I think we'll be okay, the Andy Pettitte results. Now, the Mariners offense, 19 runs and 27 hits so far in this series, and that group is being led by Kyle Seager. Man, is he hot right now.
He's extremely hot, and he's coming off a really slow start the first half of the season, but he's been doing damage on pitches up and in. I'd like to see the A's stay away from him a little bit, make him earn it, go the other way. But right now he is extremely hot, and he's hitting all the mistakes the A's pitchers are giving him.
And the Mariners and Seager doing all of this damage in this series offensively without Nelson Cruz. Cruz with all those home runs, but he will not play again today. But the Mariners have not missed Nelson Cruz in the first 2 games of the series. So Sean Nolan and Hisashi Iwakuma is your pitching matchup in the third and final game of the series. And the A's, they need a win, trying to break a 4-game losing streak. We'll have lineups and first pitch when we come back.
California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Beautiful day for baseball at the Coliseum, and it is Breast Cancer Awareness Day. So, as always, a very special day at the ballpark, as the park is full of breast cancer survivors, and we are thrilled to have them here. They were out on the field before the game, and now the A's take the field wearing the gold tops this afternoon, trying to salvage the final game of this series. Game time weather today is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 74 degrees, lots of sunshine, not a cloud in the sky, and just a very nice light breeze. So, early September in the Bay Area, and the weather is pretty tough to beat. So let's take a look at the lineup this afternoon for the Seattle Mariners. Ketel Marte leads things off. He's the young switch hitting shortstop. Then Kyle Seager, Stephen Romero, Robinson Cano, who's going to DH today. Mark Trumbull will be in left. Morrison at first. Miller is going to play second base today, and then Jesus Sucre will catch, and Sean O'Malley is in center field.
Yes, Seattle Mariners will be facing Sean Nolan, 25 years of age. He was the main piece in the trade with Toronto. This will be his second start of his career. His first was with Toronto last year. Well, what can we expect to see? A crafty left-handed pitcher, has a clean, repeatable delivery. Reminds me a little bit of Andy Pettitte. He changes speeds with his fastball extremely well. Also uses a curveball and a changeup. All
right, so we're looking forward to seeing Sean Nolan make his Oakland A's debut. Defensively behind Nolan, Canna in left, Burns in center, Smolinski in right, Valencia, Sogard, Laurie, and Vogt around the infield third and first. And Fegley will catch Sean Nolan. So Nolan will have the task of slowing down this Mariners lineup that has scored 19 runs and picked up 27 hits in the first two games of this series. So his first pitch is in the dirt. We're underway. Nolan is the 28th different pitcher used by the A's this year. That is a new Athletics record for most pitchers in a season. Maybe not a record you want to set. A's will continue to get a look at the youngsters, and Nolan is one of those. 1-1 the count to Ketel Marte. Seager to follow, and then Romero here in the first inning. Fastball at 89, 2-1 the count.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to see from Nolan. He's not going to light up the radar gun, but he's going to change speeds on that fastball. He's going to sink it, and he's going to try to throw a straight one right by you.
Burns into right center, and he tracks it down, one away. Let's take a look at the Sean Nolan motion. He's a big guy, Eric. He's 6'4".
Very big guy, but it's very clean. It's repeatable. He does kind of throw that front elbow up a little bit. That reminds me a little bit of Andy Pettitte. But he's a crafty lefty for his age. He knows how to pitch.
He's from Seaford, New York. See the age, the size, 6'4", 230. 6th round pick by the Blue Jays in 2010. Remember, he had a sports hernia. Got him in spring training and then on the DL to start the season. So we did not see a whole lot of him in spring training. Then he missed some time during the middle of the season with a strained left shoulder, but healthy right now. So 1-1 the count to Seager. Seager 270, 22 homers and 60 RBIs, and he's had a huge series. We talked about him in the open of our show. Hits this one to right. Smolinski hustling back. He's got it. 2 out. Umpires this afternoon. Mark Carlson is the crew chief, and he's also calling balls and strikes. So he's got a busy afternoon.
Number 17, Stephen Romero.
So a 2 out, Stephen Romero will hit. Romero, a September call-up, and he homered earlier in this series in their first strike. 3 for 7 on the year.
Pretty unusual for McClendon to put a call-up in the third spot of the lineup, but I think that goes to tell you what they think about him, that he can handle it.
Close pitch. Romero had a good season in AAA. Hit .292 with 79 RBIs and 17 home runs. Pitch was high. Romero went after it anyways and fouls it back to even the count at 2-2. Robinson Cano would be next. Cano DHing today. Pitch foul back to the screen. Fastball at 91.
Robbie's always having fun, and I'll tell you that. Doing the Coco Crisp swing right there. I think we both agree. I think he's nursing something though, because he hasn't been running good and getting an opportunity to DH on the day game.
3-2 now to Romero. And Cano not moving around very well last night on the base pass or in the field, so he is the DH today.
It really is amazing the damage that Seattle has done without Nelson Cruz in the lineup.
Right to Valencia, and Valencia throws in time, and it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Sean Nolan. So a good start for the young left-hander. Bottom of the first coming up. Quick look at their lineup. It is Burns, Canna-Vogt, Valencia, Laurie, Butler, Smolinski, Fegley, and Sogard.
And the A's will be facing Hisashi Iwakuma, a right-handed pitcher, 6-3 record on the year with a 4.22 ERA. He struggled with his command a little bit lately, but last early August he did throw a no-hitter against the Baltimore Orioles. He likes to ride that fastball up in the zone at 91-92 and finish hitters off with that good split finger fastball.
So pitches up and pitches down. They'll face Billy Burns. The first pitch is looped into shallow right field, but Romero is over and in, and he's got it. So one away. Here's the defense for the Mariners. Trumbo, O'Malley, Romero in the outfield, Seager, Marte, Miller, and Morrison on the infield. Some credit. Catcher. Lloyd McClendon and the Mariners trying to get to the 500 mark. They're 65 and 71, so they have a chance to do that if they can play well down the stretch. A little bit outside to Mark Cannon.
Yeah, and the Mariners are headed in a good direction, the opposite direction of the A's. Mariners are getting some answers, they're getting some play that they'd like to see. And they're going to feel good about themselves going into next year.
Up the middle, and Cannon has a base hit. There's the no-hitter. It was August 12th against the Orioles at Safeco Field.
And there is that fastball riding up, and then he finishes off with that good split finger. And it's just a tough pitch to pick up when it's going good. And he had it all working that day.
So it was the 5th no-hitter in Mariners history. As King Felix has one. King Felix was a perfect game. Iwakuma can add a no-hitter to his resume. The 5 no-hitters for the Mariners. It started with Randy Johnson, then Chris Bosio, and then in 2012 a combined no-hitter. And then again a little bit later on in that 2012 season, Felix Hernandez and then Iwakuma. That was interesting with the Iwakuma no-hitter. It was the first time he threw a complete game in his career.
Right. I heard that the other day. I guess in Japan, though, he had about 42 of them.
Probably.
You know, Philip Humber, too, of the White Sox threw a no-hitter there, too, also.
Yep. A little bit high, 2-1 to vote. The A's knocked Iwakuma around a couple starts ago on the 24th of August. 7 runs in 4 2/3 innings. A's won that game 11-5.
Yeah, he's been a little flat too with his stuff. I think that's why McClendon pushed back him and Felix, give him some extra days rest.
O'Malley is under it in center field. So that's the second out. A's have had some success against Iwakuma in his career. The ERA just a little under 5 with a 4-5 record. That start on the 24th, the only start he has made against the A's this year.
And he's a free agent at the end of the year?
He is, yeah.
So they're going to have to make a decision on that.
Well, he's 34 years old. He played 11 years in Japan. He may not be a guy who is going to throw 210 innings, but he's still pretty good.
I think he's very serviceable. I think I've only faced him a couple times, but his stuff was a little funky.
Chop slowly to Seager. He's going to go across to first. And it's in time to get Valencia, and the side is retired. A hit and a runner left, and we're scoreless after 1. CSNCA Data Strong fan, you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. No score, second inning. Sean Nolan had a 3-up, 3-down first, couple of fly balls, and a ground out. So he'll face Cano, Trumbo, Morrison. First pitch, fastball in for a strike to Robinson Cano, hitting .280, 14 homers, 60 RBIs, and he's 2 for 10 in this series. And as we said, not moving around all that well. We have not heard any reports on if it's a leg injury or.
It's definitely a leg injury, and it looks like it's just a little nagging one, or else he wouldn't have been in the lineup at all.
That one is foul. Second year with the Mariners. Last year, 314, 14 homers, 82 RBIs. And the numbers this year, a little bit down, but I think you put it best yesterday. Sometimes a guy's year is a little less than the one before. It just,
and for 2 months he was dealing with that illness. Yeah. So with the weight issue.
Good fastball there. Cano swings and misses. First strikeout for Nolan.
Yeah, Nolan coming back with that fastball. We talked about mixing the speeds with that fastball. Sometimes he'll take a little bit off at 83, 84 miles an hour, and then sometimes he'll run it up there at 90.
Left fielder, number 35, Mark Trumbo.
So one away for Trumbo.
But we talked about the pitchers. Some of these young pitchers, they have the advantage. M's have no idea what he's got, so their first at bat, you just try to gauge him, pick up the release point. You go back in the dugout, discuss it with the other hitters.
Trumbo 247, 11 and 31 with the Mariners. Overall, 20 homers and 54 RBIs. Change up there, but a little bit low. 1-1 to count. Driven to right, hit pretty well. Smolinski hustling back. Warning track, he's got it.
Well, you can see why the A's like this guy. I think initially when you hear about a 6'4" lefty, you think he's going to come out throwing 93, 94 miles an hour, but he's got good mound composure out there, good windup, repeatable, and he knows how to pitch. He mixes up his speeds on different pitches and stays out of the middle of the zone. He's going to have to, as most pitchers do.
So here he'll face the lefty Logan Morrison. Morrison's had a good series. 4 for 9. I think he's had a great series. A homer, a double, and 5 RBIs. Two 2-0 now to Mariners first baseman.
You know, the one thing I see from Nolan already is kind of slows down on his off-speed pitches. And the reason why King Felix is so successful is that arm speed's the same at every pitch.
A little flare to center. And Burns is going to track it down. 6 up, 6 down for Sean Nolan so far in the game. Bottom of the second coming up. And Smolinski to hit against Iwakuma. Laurie 275 with 15 home runs. He's got 55 RBIs. Shallow left field. Marte out, Trumbo in. Trumbo is able to make the catch.
You can look like Sonny Gray and Eric Sogard with your very own Striped Sox backpack. Presented by Chevron Techron Advantage Credit Card. Tomorrow, 15,000 fans will receive the stylish backpack modeled after the preferred footwear of Sonny and Sogard. Get your Labor Day tickets now at athletics.com/tickets or by calling 877-493-BALL.
Here's Butler. Butler takes the first pitch in for a strike. And he's come in with a 58-78 record, trying to break a 4-game losing streak. So game number 137 for the A's. 25 games left after today. And these are 31-40 here at the Coliseum this year. Astros will be in town tomorrow. The first place Astros. Astros winning today 5-2 over the Twins at home. Astros with a 2-game lead over the Rangers in the West. Fastball on 1-2 and a swing and a miss by Butler. That's the first strikeout for Iwakuma.
Batting in the 7th position.
Iwakuma just throwing the fastball right by Billy, mixing up his speeds, much like Nolan. Makes that 90 look a lot faster when you're changing speeds.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. And here's Smolinski. Smolinski playing in right field. Reddick left last night's game. Feeling a little under the weather. So he's getting today off as well. Hopefully he'll be back in there tomorrow. Over Iwakuma's head. Marte scoops, throws, got it. Nice play by Marte. And it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Iwakuma. We're on to the third. No score. The A's and the Mariners. Laurie defense, and this is at second base. He's made a handful of nice plays in this series. Still be getting used to playing second base a little bit. Oh, he did it some with the Blue Jays, but still you're going to the other side of the diamond, and that's always an adjustment.
Yeah, that's not easy to do, especially from the left side to the right side, and at second base turning those double plays. But he definitely has the mentality for it. He's very tough, a lot of energy. I think he would have made a pretty good defensive back in the NFL.
Yes, he would have been. Facing Nolan, facing Miller, Sucre, and O'Malley here in the top of the third. 6 up, 6 down so far for Sean Nolan. And there is a base hit to left field. So that's the first hit in the game for Seattle. Miller against the left-hander gets a hit.
Batting in the 8th position.
And I can't tell you, I wish I was able to sit in this booth a long time ago before I started playing, because the importance of using the whole field and going the other way. And I've seen hitters struggle pretty much the whole time up here, and what gets them back going is using the opposite field, and it's a good piece of hitting by Miller right there.
Well, if I would have known when you were playing that you wanted a broadcaster's help, I would have come down and just sat you down and said, Chavi,
well, I did not know
go
that.
the other way.
I didn't know I'd be sitting up here.
It's easy. Just hit the ball the other way.
That's it. That's all.
Yeah. Just what you want to hear from an old broadcaster. And yes, the game does look easier up here. Two 2-0 to Sucre. The Angels lead the Rangers 4-0 in the third inning. Rubber game of that big series down in Anaheim. Mike Trout has already homered. He's got 34 now on the year. He hit a 2-run shot. Angels 3.5 behind the Rangers for the second wild card spot. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Colby Lewis for Texas. Hector Santiago for the Angels. 4-0 in the third. 3-0 pitch right in there, first strike.
Yeah, I was surprised when I was looking over Nolan's numbers. His walk ratio was a bit high. And his Ks to walks were a little off, but such a good, smooth delivery, a little shocking.
Could be two. Scooped up by Sogard. Laurie on the pivot, and it is a double play. 6-4-3, and the bases are empty.
You can pitch at this league with not a whole lot of velocity. You see Dallas Keuchel in Houston, and when he gets in trouble, he just relaxes, doesn't panic, makes good pitches. It's a good job of coming back right there. Sogard filling in for Simeon today. Nice turn by Brett. Pretty routine.
So ninth place hitter Sean O'Malley steps in. He's a switch hitter. O'Malley is 5 for 6 this year. And his first major league home run in this series. So he'll remember this weekend.
Yeah, he's definitely swung the bat pretty well.
Bunts it. Valencia not quite do the clean exchange from glove to throwing hand, and so O'Malley will be aboard. Should be a hit. Pretty good bunt.
Should be. O'Malley used that speed. You can, as a third baseman, always watch the hitter's eyes at one point from when they leave the on-deck circle to the box. If they're going to bunt, they will look at you at least one time. And Valencia was all over it. He was there. maybe hurried a little bit because O'Malley gets down the line pretty well. But he's showing a pretty good all-around game for the M's right now.
So would you say that by the time a hitter gets to the box, he has an idea if he's going to bunt or not?
Well, if there's anybody, I think so. Yes, I think so. But if anybody is going to bunt, especially with a guy who runs well, they're going to look at you. Either when they're walking up to the plate, they're going to take a look at you, or take a peek like he did in the middle of the at bat. So
and he just took a quick peek, see where Valencia was playing, and then laid down a nice bunt.
Yeah, it's amazing what the eyes will tell you in this game. There's sometimes too with pitchers, like they'll focus on their location where they want to throw the ball, and you can kind of pick up on that a little bit. But Valencia was right there. He saw it. He probably saw the peak too, and he was in position. He just couldn't finish it.
And that is a fair ball. Vogt grabs it, steps on the bag. Marte's retired, and so are the Mariners. They get a couple hits. Double play helps Nolan. We're going to the bottom of the third. No score. Dan Lake Merritt. No score, bottom of the third inning. Fegley to lead it off, and Iwakuma throws a pitch that was way outside. Actually, it just missed outside. Breaking balls popped up toward the shortstop Marte. And Marte has it. One out here in the third.
You can see some of these plays that Marte's been making, especially ones that he's coming in. When that ball goes in that glove, it's not exactly clean. And right now, maybe the game just a little bit fast for him right now. He'll learn how to slow it down, make the clean transfer, but a good-looking ball player.
Yeah, there's probably been maybe 3 plays in this series where he's had just a little trouble getting it out of his glove.
Yeah. But he does. I like the way he moves his feet. He gets good reads. He sees the ball off the bat right away.
Sogard hit hard, but right to Morrison, who backhands it and steps on first. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the third, and now Billy Burns will hit.
But he is 21, so he's got some time. And I really do marvel. Carlos Correa 20-year-old kid playing shortstop, hitting third in the lineup. I mean, these kids are doing stuff that I never would have imagined. Playing big roles for their teams.
It seems like the game is getting younger.
Completely.
Younger stars, and there's a lot of young stars that
last 3 years.
Yeah. It's great for baseball.
Yeah, because these young kids too, man, they latch on to a 20-year-old kid, 21-year-old kid, and much like I did when I was younger, kind of gives you hope.
Oh, 2 to Burns.
I mean, I still remember emulating all the hitters playing wiffle ball with my brothers in the front yard. I meant Ricky Henderson and Jose Canseco. It was a lot of fun.
0-2 to Burns, who hit a fly ball to right field his first at bat. Seager has it, juggles, and Burns is going to beat it out. And that is nothing more than knowing that there's a fast runner and you got to be a little quicker with your exchange.
Yeah, and I think he was trying to be a little bit too quick. He was already in. And we know Billy does get down the line pretty well, but those are the errors that I know Seager, it's very frustrating. It's a pretty routine play. He's in position, just kind of like Marte, just having a little trouble with the exchange. But Billy's obviously he gets down the line pretty well, but he knew that. But he's a good third baseman. He's got a Gold Glove already.
Canna takes on the inside corner first try. So that was his 35th infield hit this year. Most in the American League. D. Gordon is the most in baseball. It was his 131st hit overall. He leads the American League rookies in that category. He also leads American League rookies in stolen bases with 25. We'll see if he takes off here. Again, that's rookies. Overall, he's third in steals behind Altuve and Lorenzo Cain. Altuve has 36. Cain has 26.
He's going to get better at that. He's got a tremendous upside of that part of his game. We saw the other night with the slide. You know, I think when he decides to go, there's some homework that needs to go into that, knowing the pitcher, knowing the counts, picking on an off-speed count. So he's got a long way to go. Right now he's just fast and he's going and he's having a lot of success, but there's going to be a lot of growth in the next few years.
Half swing and it's foul back. Canna homered last night.
Yeah, and this was pretty impressive. King Felix was just rolling through the A's lineup and he leaves a fastball up and Mark got on top of it, drove it to the middle of the field, and he's been swinging a hot bat. He's looked really good. Surprisingly, he's hit the righties better than the lefties. So earlier in the year that platoon wasn't working as well as the A's wanted it to, but I think he's working himself into an everyday player and getting in the lineup pretty much on an everyday basis the way he's playing.
Doing a nice job, no question about it, and he's going to learn a lot playing the final month of the season. Breakdown of Canna versus fastballs and Canna versus off-speed pitches. The average better on the fastball.
Yeah, and that's you definitely have to hit that pitch, and you got to be able to do okay on the off-speed pitches, but you got to hit the fastball in this league.
And just looking at Canna's numbers, he has 340 at bats, 23 walks, which is not a lot, but struck out 76 times. That's not a huge amount for 340 at bats.
Right. And he's learning himself too. Yeah. When he when he finds out how good he is, you know, sometimes I see him overswing, but with 2 strikes, he'll put a 2-strike approach swing on a ball and drive it, and he won't even be swinging as hard as some of those other pitches. So as soon as he finds out how good he is, I think he's really going to take off.
Canna with 19 doubles. He's got a couple of triples. He's really had a good year. 86 hits now on the year. Two and two. And now full count. So Burns will be going now.
Yeah, something in the gap right here. I think we'll score Billy as fast as he is. Got to make sure he's going home if you're Billy at first.
Iwakuma. Check of Burns. There he goes. He pitches way inside, and he walked it. 2-out rally for the A's. So first walk by Iwakuma. He's got a walk and a strikeout so far in 31 pitches.
Now batting first baseman.
So Stephen Vogt will hit.
21. Stephen Vogt.
Vogt hit a fly ball to center field back in the first inning. Stephen playing first base today. Have a hot hitter up there. Vogt 11 hits in his last 20 at bats. Trying to finish strong. He's had the terrific first half, then struggled for a while. And now a little hot stretch here in early September. Reaches for that one and pokes it foul. So the count is 0-2 to Vogt. So you have a Stephen Vogt t-shirt on. It's your birthday, and you catch a foul ball because you brought your glove, and the guy who hit the ball was Stephen Vogt. That's a good all-around day.
That's a good day. You're right. Way to go, young man. Happy birthday.
It's not going to get any better. Maybe if Vogt hits a home run here. Not this time, as Vogt swings and misses, so the A's get a hit and a walk, and they strand 2. We're headed to the 4th inning from the Coliseum. No score, A's and Mariners.
baseball is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get the MLB.com at bat app now. That app is pretty cool, though.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm on that thing every single. I'm on it right now, actually.
Well, I don't want you to lose your focus on our game. I understand.
In between.
I know. I'm guilty of it too. But if you need quick information about a game, you get it there, or if you just want to sit back and watch a game.
Yeah, it's great. It's got the archive too, where you can bring up old games.
1-1 the count to Kyle Seager, leading off the top of the fourth. No score between the A's and the Mariners. Outside corner strike, 1-2. Seager hit a fly ball to right field, his first at bat. He's 5 for 9 in the series with 4 RBIs.
Yeah.
Sean Nolan with no walks and a strikeout so far.
And you can see Sean's not afraid to throw the lefty on lefty changeup. He wanted to back that up with a fastball up, and he missed down. Had the right sequence, though. There's that curveball, and had a conversation with Barry Zito about Nolan, and he was kind of giving me the breakdown on him, and they talked about that curveball a whole lot. They want to take the hump out of the curveball, make it the break as short as possible with some good tilt to it.
And the 3-2 pitch inside. It's a leadoff walk. Well, today is the 17th annual Breast Cancer Awareness Day here at the Coliseum, and it was a good day. $75,400 were raised by the Athletics today, and all the benefits go to the American Cancer Society and Cancer Prevention Institute of California. And over the years, the A's have raised $1.5 million with Breast Cancer Awareness Day, and that money goes to breast cancer research, education, and free services. So another terrific day by the Athletics. Breast Cancer Awareness Day again. The 17th consecutive year that the A's have done that. Laurie stays with it, and Romero is retired. Be a little sunshine to fight here for Laurie.
Yeah, and he's been going back good at second base on these balls behind him. And you know, we talked about the sunglasses before and maybe flip downs, but there really is nothing you can do if that ball's in the sun and he's blocking with his glove right there. Stays with it.
So here's Cano. Seager, fairly short lead at first. And Cano hits one high in the air, left center. Hit pretty well, but room for Burns. And Burns has it. So Cano is 0 for 2, and that'll bring up Trumbo.
And I did mention that I had a conversation with Barry Zito, and you know, today's going to be his last outing ever on the mound.
Yep.
And you know, he wanted me to tell the Oakland fans thank you for all the support. He was hoping to be up here in September and sometime during the year. It just didn't work out, but he's had a really good career, and I commend the fact that after the career that he's had and the money he's made, he went back to AAA and grinded it out in Nashville.
And I like the fact that, and he's been on the disabled list for a little while, but he said, I don't want to end this season on the disabled list. So he was activated, and they got today and tomorrow, I believe, right? Yeah. 2 more games left the AAA season. He's a good guy. Oh, 0-1 to Trumbo, who hit a fly ball to right field, his first at bat. I faced Zito when I was in high school in San Diego, and
had some pretty decent success against them, ironically, but.
Was the curveball as big back then?
It was big. Yeah, it was big. Yeah, it wasn't as sharp, but it was big. Never was a real high velocity guy. It's always cool though when you see some of your friends from the local town make it. You know, it's had a lot of fun playing with them.
Trumbo toward right. Smolinski near the line. He's got it. Side retired. So Nolan works around the leadoff walk. Bottom of the fourth coming up. It'll be Valencia, Laurie, and Butler. No score. In a pitcher's duel. Iwakuma has allowed a couple of hits. He has walked one. He has struck out two. He's thrown 34 pitches in the first 3 innings. So both starters have been good, and they have really not thrown a lot of pitches so far.
Yeah, pretty much doing it the same way, just mixing speeds, pitching in and out.
Valencia swings and misses on a ball kind of running in on the hands. Valencia grounded out to third in the first inning. He's 2 for 10 in the series, but one of those 2 hits a grand slam. Quickly 0-2. Game number 24 for Valencia with the Athletics. He's got 22 RBIs in 24 games with the A's. So he has, I'm sure, become part of
the mix
thought process in the mix for 2016.
Definitely.
Swings and misses, and it's dug out by Sucre, who tags Valencia, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Iwakuma.
And that is that split. He's got 1 strikeout with a fastball, but the next 2 via the split. Just a tough pitch to pick up. If you can't pick up the spin and the last minute, dives out of the zone.
A lot of pitches to throw, and he uses them all, folks. Slider, splitter, fastball, curve. But his bread and butter style is really fastballs up and then the splitter down or under the knees.
Yeah, and I don't think he's got that live fastball like he did when he threw the no-hitter versus the Orioles. he was throwing 91, 92. Today he seems, 87, 88. So he doesn't have a ton of velo on that fastball. So I think you're going to see a lot more soft stuff from him today.
Miller, the second baseman, out. He's got his glasses on, and he makes the catch. Second out here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
Now batting, designated hitter, 16.
So there's not a cloud in the sky today, and it's just looking up. It almost reminds you of that Arizona high sky today.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's a good day right there with the family. Well, over 19,000 in the house today. They just announced the attendance. Day game tomorrow on Labor Day with the Astros in town. Astros trying to wrap up a win over the Twins. They lead 8-4 in the ninth inning, and the Angels now leading the Rangers 5-0 in the fifth. Butler hits it hard, and it's going to get through in the left field for a hit. So hit number 3 for the A's. It's a 2-out single by Butler, and Smolinski will hit.
And it's a little surprising with the lack of offense today. Both of these clubs offensively have swung the bats really well. But Biller getting a hanging slider right there, pulls it in the left.
Morrison will play behind Butler, not holding him on. Smolinski grounded out to short in his first at bat. Fastball at 88 miles an hour. A's have struggled against the Mariners this year. 4-11 is their record. And there's a line drive. Seager scoops the short hop, and he throws to second. Side retire. So Butler with a hit, nothing else, and we are scoreless through 4.
The 2015 season, when the A's play host to their Cross Bay rivals from September 25th through the 27th. Come out and support the green and gold as the A's close out this year's home slate. Get your tickets now online at athletics.com/tickets or by calling 510-638-GO-A's.
Check out that T-shirt. He's probably going to have to haul that out for that weekend. See, if that was an adult wearing that shirt, Eric, we'd say you got to make a decision. But as a kid, you know what? You don't have to make it. You like both teams.
Be a baseball fan.
Yeah. Actually, maybe you don't have to make a decision. You're right. Both guys have been good, Nolan and Iwakuma. And there's a line drive right field base hit. Morrison has had a lot of good swings in this series. When he gets his 5th hit in the series, it's a leadoff single.
Yeah, that looked to be off speed a little bit.
Now batting.
Yeah, just took a little bit off his fastball up in the zone. 2-seamer. Logan reaches out, pulls it to right. And you could see he's pretty much wanted to pull the ball the whole series. Hit the home run to right yesterday. But like most of the Mariners, just swinging the bat's good right now.
So another left-handed hitter, Brad Miller, steps in. And Miller goes after the first pitch. Fouls it back. Miller had a base hit in the 3rd. He led off that inning with the single. And it's going to get through into right field, the base hit. Morrison is going to try for 3rd. Smolinski's throw to 3rd is in time. He never slid, and he's out. If he slides, he's probably safe, but he didn't. And Valencia just kind of stood there, and it may have been a deke. Eric, did you ever deke anybody?
All the time. Definitely all the time. And I don't know if this is, I mean, as a runner, you just got to go in. You're going in hard. And right there, Woodward, the third base coach, had his hands up like you're in safely. So I think Logan saw that and kind of quit on it. But just a good play by Valencia on that one hopper, and man, and you could see Logan looking at Woodward like, I thought you told me I was good to go.
Well, if the arms are up, I mean, generally that would mean you're good. You don't need to slide, right? I mean, I would think that's sort of the universal thought when you see that sign of the arms being raised up.
And I know Chris is usually at first base side.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Yeah, and
Rich Donnelly.
Yeah.
But
So
Andy Van Slyke is at first.
Right.
But let's watch.
Right, and you can see Woodward right there, like, you're good, you're good. Right now, we should be telling him down, down.
See, you know what? I gotta believe that's on the third base coach.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Morrison was running hard.
He was going hard.
Way.
You're right.
But as soon as you see the arms go up, you're going to back down a little bit. You're going to slow down a little bit because you think you got it easily.
And I just think that's from Chris not having a ton of experience over at the third base side. So not sure if something happened with Donnelly, but he's normally the third base coach.
So the A's will take it, Dan. Smolinski made a very nice throw. I mean, let's not forget the throw had to be right there, and it was, as the bat goes sailing well past Woodward. That's a good bat toss here by Jesus Sucre.
Yeah, I only did that one time in my whole career. Never really understood why that happened. I guess maybe the light grip that guys have on the bat.
Sucre hit into a 6-4-3 double play in the third inning. So he's 0 for 6 in the series.
Yeah, and that bat toss too kind of reminds me of, Major League Baseball right now, kind of discussing how to make it's safer for the front row people. And I mean, just know it's a dangerous spot to be, and you got to pay attention pretty much the whole game, every pitch.
Well, it certainly sounds like something's going to be done.
Yeah, some netting.
Yeah. The conversation is heated up some about something should be done or not.
Yeah, and especially if you have young children, please be on the alert. And make sure you're sitting on the inside part, closer to the hitter than the kid. That always freaked me out when I'd see a line drive go into the stands and, you know, it was headed in the direction of a little kid.
Sure.
It just such a bad feeling. And I actually, in batting practice in Boston, I actually hit a kid in the face. He had to have 5 eye surgeries. And it's not a good feeling whatsoever.
Yeah, we had it with Brett Lawrie in Boston where he hit a bat go in the stands on a broken bat, and the lady had to be brought out, left in the ambulance, and
that was
no
Brett.
question.
That was Brett.
Hard not to think about if it was your bat on your swing, even though it's not your fault.
Right.
The 3-2 pitch is inside, and Sucre with a walk. So first and second, 1 out for Sean O'Malley.
I mentioned a little bit about Nolan. His walk rate just a little bit high.
Now batting, number 36.
I think that's something he's going to have to improve on. But I also think it's a product of him knowing he can't be in the middle of the plate. He wants to go for the edges, and sometimes when you do that, you're going to miss.
O'Malley had a base hit in the second inning. It was a bunt hit. Off-speed pitch stays outside.
Yeah, and having versatility in this game too. You take a look at Brad Miller right there, going from shortstop. Now they're going to give him a run in center. Last night he played second. Today he's playing second. So having a little bit of versatility will keep you in this game a long time. You know, I remember I had a conversation with Nick Swisher when he first got here, and he was center fielder, and he came up to me and goes, you know, I want to put on 20 pounds in the offseason. And I said, why do you want to do that to yourself? You're athletic, you can run. You don't want to become one-dimensional.
Nope. That would not have been necessary for Swisher. He was going to hit home runs anyway.
Yeah, he had a good swing. Home runs are, I mean, they're great, but there's other parts of the game that are just important.
And 2-0. Swing through to make it 2-1.
It looks like he goes with a fastball away here. Good part of the plate. But I really do think hitters should focus more on, you know, if I get 500 at-bats, how many quality at-bats can I give the team? And the numbers will take care of themselves at the end of the year. But we focus on results, and unfortunately with all the media, and everybody knows how you're swinging the bat.
3-1 to O'Malley with Marte to follow. This one's fouled just below us.
That was a good pitch right there, and it was up, but it's really important to pitch the 4 quadrants of the zone. In and out, up and down, stay out of the middle, and Nolan's doing a pretty good job of that.
2 on, 1 out. Miller runs well at second base. Pitch number 65 coming up, but we'll have a meeting before that. Got me to thinking when you saw Nolan put his glove up to his face. So you wonder why glove manufacturers go to pitchers first. You just saw it right there.
They get their gloves first in spring training.
Well, you know what? It's the camera's going to be on the starting pitcher for 6, 7, maybe 8 innings.
Catcher too.
Yep. The old W. Runners go, and the pitch is hit hard, just foul past Andy Van Slyke.
And I think if you're A's infielder, you got to be able to read O'Malley's swing. Looks like he wants to go the other way with it, having trouble pulling the ball. So I would take a step or two to my left if he was up there.
If they go again, they do, and it's inside, and the bases are loaded. So the play at third becomes bigger and bigger as the inning goes on.
Yeah, definitely.
Threw out Morrison at third.
Kurt Young will go down there, try to settle him down a little bit, but this is a good test. You kind of want to see what he's got in the fire. He's got a tough guy. He needs to double up right here in Marte, so make some good quality pitches.
So he got a big double play in the third. He needs one here in the fifth.
Yeah, this ball is going to need to be hit extremely hard for the A's to have an opportunity to turn 2.
Marte.
So you got the corner infielders. If it's hit to them, they're going to come home. It's hit up the middle, they're going to concede the run and try to turn 2.
Marte has hit a fly ball to center field. He is grounded out to first. Goes after the first pitch and fouls it right side. So 1-1 the count. Seager is the on deck hitter. Mariners trying to break the 0-0 game. Shallow right, Laurie out, and it's going to fall. The throw to the plate is not quite in time. It would have been a force play, and Fegley did his best. He stretched for it like a first baseman, but it falls, and it's an RBI single for Marte, and the Mariners lead 1-0.
This ball was in no man's land. There was nothing Brett could do. He gave it a good effort, going hard. We've seen him make pretty good plays behind his head this series, and there's just nothing you can do about that. A well-placed ball.
So there's the attempt at the force out, and Smolinski picked it up quickly. But Marte gets his 7th RBI, and now the red hot Seager steps in. And Seager drives one center field. Burns into right center. Burns is under it. He's got it. Sucre will tag. He will trot home. O'Malley goes to third. It's a sacrifice fly for Seager, and it's 2-0 Seattle.
That's a good piece of hitting. I meant look for something up, get it in the outfield. He put a good swing on it. I think the A's are pretty fortunate to get away with just one run right here. That was pretty hittable, and he hit it just off the end. That's why. And he's been pulling a lot of balls this series. A lot of balls up and in.
So Seager gets his 5th RBI in the series and his 61st of the year. So the Mariners break through with a 2 spot as Romero steps in. First pitch is fastball in for a strike. Dole starts to throw. So action in the bullpen for the first time. Runner goes and the ball squirts away from Fegley, and O'Malley's going to come in to score. And Marte ends up all the way at third. He was running on the pitch.
Yeah, Josh tried to pick this ball clean. He saw the runner taking off, and he wanted to pick it and throw him out at second. But with the runner on third right there, your job is just to go down on your knees, block it, keep that ball from going to the backstop there. Josh really has had a good year behind the plate and swinging the bat. It's just he'd like to have that one back right there.
So 3-0, and now the count 2-1. So it was called a pass ball. Laurie is going to grab it, side retired. A 3 spot for the Mariners. So bottom of the 5th coming up. It's now Seattle 3 and the A's 0. Now with 25 Bay Area locations, come visit our newest stores in Pleasanton and Gilroy. So the Mariners now lead 3-0. It's the bottom of the 5th inning. So the A's trying to salvage the final game of this series. They're trailing again. Fegley to lead it off against Iwakuma. And the first pitch is a strike. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and 3 hits off Iwakuma. he has a chance for a shutdown inning. How much does Iwakuma's delivery, where he hesitates just a little bit right before he comes forward and releases, how much does that change the timing for the hitter?
It changes it a lot. I was always very uncomfortable, especially most of the pitchers from Japanese do have that little pause, but just throws you off just a little bit.
So right there, he sits just for a split second.
Yeah, Darvish was wind up very similar. Kuroda.
Nope. Hit well to right field. Romero's going back. He's got it. And you can go back to Hideo Nomo, the first real big name pitcher from Japan to come over. He was very good. He really, he just stood there with his front leg up for about a second and then came through. So even that, just that pause in the motion can affect the hitter.
Yeah, and I think what that does is it gives them balance on the mound, so they kind of gather themselves, and I think sometimes pitchers can rush, but with that little pause, you get a good load on that back leg and you're able to drive.
It almost seems like when you do that, it would be impossible to speed up your delivery. You would have to stay
under control.
Back.
Yeah, timing would be good.
Miller scoops it up, and Sogard is 0 for 2. So 2 away here in the 5th. 6 out of 7 retired by Iwakuma.
Now batting third fielder, number 1,
Billy Burns can get something going with 2 outs. And the first pitch to Burns, down and in. Angels still leading the Rangers 5-0. That game now in the 6th inning, and Houston 8, Minnesota 4 in the 9th. That game is now a final. There's a line drive. Miller reaches up to grab it. So Burns hit it right on the nose, but a nice play by Miller at second base. 3 up, 3 down inning for Iwakuma, and we're on to the 6th. 3-0 Mariners.
The season's final Throwback Thursday, presented by Chevron Extra Mile at This Throwback Thursday, 5,000 fans will receive a commemorative Cocoa Crisp button. For tickets and information, go to athletics.com/Thursday.
So here's Cano. Cano swings at the first pitch and grounds it to Sogard. And that's one out here in the top of the sixth. So Cano is 0 for 3. So Sean Nolan, a tough fifth inning where he gave up 3 hits, a couple of walks, and a sacrifice fly, and no surprise there, 2 of the walks scored, or I should say both the walks scored in that inning. He's walked 3 in the game, and he struck out 1.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to need to improve on that, but like I said before, it's from him knowing that he's got to stay out of the middle of the plate. He nibbles a little bit, and he just misses at times.
0-1 to Trumbo. 1-1 to Trumbo.
But I think he's done a pretty good job up to this point.
It's his second major league start. He made 1 for the Blue Jays in 2013.
You know, really, they had the bloop hit last inning and then a pass ball by Fagley. So overall, I think he's done a real nice job.
One and 2 the count. And that one just off the end of the bat. Well, it's part of a large group of candidates for the rotation next year, Xavi, and they're all young guys.
And they're all right-handed except for Nolan.
Yeah.
Which is equally as important for him to establish himself, because they need to break up those righties.
But it's Gray and Jesse Chavez and Graveman and Hahn and Brooks and Bassett. You throw Nolan in there.
And hopefully Griffin comes back.
You get Griffin and Parker possibilities. You're not quite sure what is going to happen there, but
I saw Parker the other day at Walnut Creek, and he seemed pretty optimistic about things.
So you have plenty to choose from, but what you hope is that they all turn into be quality,
right,
and not just quantity.
Right.
Now batting,
that's Aaron Brooks, who started strong but has struggled in his last couple starts. You know, Felix Dubron, who's left-handed, he's a possibility too.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of question marks. I mean, what are they going to do with the bullpen? You know, Doolittle seems to be rebounding a little bit, headed in the right direction. Pomeranz at times is throwing the ball well, late in innings.
Well, it's going to, and listen, there could be trades, and we don't know what's going to happen in the offseason. But it will be an interesting spring training with significant questions to be answered on a pitching staff. 0-2.
But I think as far as the lineup's concerned, obviously Reddick and Wright, but this may be the team on the field moving forward next year.
Fastball a little bit outside at 92. Looks like Nolan reached back for a little extra that time.
Yeah, and we're talking about changing speeds. That's the highest velo he's had today, 92. Letting it air out right now.
Laurie has it, shallow right field, and throws out Morrison. And that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Sean Nolan. So nice bounce back for Nolan after giving up 3 in the 5th. Bottom of the 6th coming up.
Got the first start for the Athletics for Sean Nolan, looking good early, mixing his pitches. He ran into a little bit of trouble in the 5th. Seeing eye hit. Sac fly by Seager. And then the pass ball, or I think they changed it to a wild pitch. And I think if you ask Josh, if he could have it back, he'd rather block that ball than try to pick it. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK ATT, mobilizing your world.
So 6 innings, 3 runs. And he's at 84 pitches. The bullpen is quiet right now, but we'll see. So bottom of the 6th, Canna, Vogt, and Valencia. The A's have not had a lot of action against Iwakuma. They had runners at first and second with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. And they've also had a couple of singles, but that's been it. So really not even a lot of base runners and only 1 runner in scoring position. But still time. The A's have 4 more shots. It's the bottom of the 6th. Canna hits it hard, but right to the shortstop Marte. Throws just in time. The handshake from the manager usually means that you're done.
Yeah, and as you can see, Dole getting up right now. And this is his 3rd time up, so he's coming in the game. It's a nice debut for the A's for Nolan. Blue pit, pass ball. All in all, pretty good day.
So Dole, who's throwing last inning, he'll get up and just throw a little bit here, get ready to go. Stephen Vogt hits with 1 out. Vogt a fly ball to center and a strikeout. First pitch strike.
And it looks like the decision for McClendon to push back Iwakuma and Hernandez kind of paid off. Hernandez with a good outing yesterday. The 8 strikeouts I believe he had. Iwakuma looking good today.
Yeah, look at his pitch count, Shabby. He's thrown 59 pitches with 1 out in the 6th inning.
Yeah. He's wearing long sleeves and a turtleneck, and he still isn't sweating.
9-8. Yeah, so he's in a good spot right now. So interesting there. You saw Sucre wanted the high fastball on 0-2. He got the high fastball. So this is what we talk about with Iwakuma. High fastballs and then
split finger.
The splitter. That one bounced up the middle. Marte has it. Quick release, and they just get Vogt. Nice play by the young shortstop, Ketel Marte.
Marte's had a couple of those type of plays this series, and he's had trouble with the exchange. But they talked about his feet, getting around the ball, squaring up to first base. Good exchange.
Number 26, Danny Valencia.
But he's gonna slow the game down. Keep his eye on the ball, see it all the way into the glove, transfer it, make a good strong throw.
He's got good actions around shortstop, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. At times the ball comes out a little funny when he throws it, but I think he's got a strong enough arm to stay there.
Want to know to Valencia, who has grounded out and struck out. He's 2 for 11 in the series. And he drives this one down the left field line. But foul. And maybe off the end of the bat a little bit. Did not have home run distance.
I really do. Teams and managers should do what McClendon has done with his 2 starters here. I know they're a little bit older, but I think 1 or 2 breaks throughout the season where you push a guy back, give him a rest, really will do wonders for him.
I guess the question is, Shabin, I agree with you, but would a manager do it if your team's in a pennant race? It's tougher to do then, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, but there's going to be a game down the line that's going to be just as important too later in the season. So, you know, and you're right. Come August and September, I think, you know, early May you take advantage of some of those days off earlier in the year and you back them up. And
so maybe do it earlier in the year as opposed to the first week of September.
Yeah, 1 or 2 times throughout the year. And you know, that's why a guy like Jesse Chavez would be so critical, because he can fill in those spots and give guys rest and still be effective in the bullpen.
2-2 is a fastball fouled straight back. Well, there's a situation going on in New York right now with Matt Harvey and the Mets and an agent, and I mean, it's
a big mess.
It's getting ugly. And what's disappointing about that is you're talking about a first place team, the Mets, who are having a great year, exciting team, and this has become a giant controversy.
Yeah.
And to say that the New York media is on top of it would be an understatement.
Right, you got to be very careful.
But it's quite a story.
Yeah.
I mean, innings limit 180 for Matt Harvey. Mets got a real good chance to go to the postseason.
I think that goes back to the Strasburg situation in Washington.
Valencia hits it high and deep to left, but he just missed it. Trumbo's back. He's got it. Side retired. So a 3-up, 3-down inning, and Iwakuma has retired 7 straight. State in 1995. Cal Ripken starts his 2,131st consecutive game and it break the 56-year-old record by Lou Gehrig. Did it right at Camden Yards in front of the home fans. He received a standing ovation in the middle of the 5th inning, and it was a 22-minute standing ovation. Made a lap around the ballpark, which was very cool. And when it was all said and done, Cal Ripken Jr. played in 2,632 consecutive games. So you can talk about all the baseball records that you think will never be broken.
That one's
not going to be broken.
That one is pretty safe.
I think Johnny Vandermeer's back-to-back no-hitters is pretty safe, but that one may be just as safe.
Well, Scherzer almost got to that one.
That's right. He made a little run at tying it, but not breaking it. So here's Ryan Dull, his 4th appearance, and he's been good so far. As we close look at the young right-hander out of the bullpen when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. So with openings and question marks in the bullpen, maybe a big month of September for Ryan Dull. Showing what you can do.
He's looked really good.
Facing Miller, who's got a couple of hits and a run score. Canna on the move. He's in fair territory, and he has it. So 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. A's trailing 3-0.
Now batting, number 2, Jesus Sucre.
Angels have extended their lead again. It's now 7-0 in the 7th inning. Angels trying to win that series against the Rangers. Astros won 8-5 over the Twins. So the Astros will be boarding the plane and they will be heading to the Bay Area. Open up that series against the A's tomorrow afternoon. Dallas Keuchel got the win today, his 17th win of the year. So he becomes the first 17-game winner in the American League. And the A's will not have to face Keuchel. Gregerson got his 26th save. Jed Lowry with a grand slam in that game. So a big win for the Astros, and for the Twins, who are very close in that second wild card spot. They lose. The Twins hanging around in the wild card race. Paul Molitor doing a terrific job there.
Yeah, it's been a nice story.
Yep. Breaking ball, strike 3 called. Sucre is retired. 2 outs here in the 7th.
Ryan really has looked really good. He's not afraid up there on the mound, and he's got a good light fastball, plays up a little bit. That slider kind of backed up on him. Best pitch in baseball, that back up slider. But I think the A's have really liked what they've seen from him.
Two outs for O'Malley. O'Malley swings at the first pitch, loops it foul.
You can see the hitter's having trouble squaring up his fastball. It's only 90-91, but the action's coming in there like it's 94-95.
And that's a nasty pitch right there. Just bottomed out, 82 miles an hour.
Yeah, and the hitter's swings will tell you what a pitcher's got. This is just a nasty slider down and in. Got no chance to even touch this ball. Reminiscent of a Rob Nen slider back in the day.
So 1-2 to O'Malley, who has singled, walked, and scored a run. And there it is again, and he did not go. That is a tough pitch.
That's a good job of laying off right there. That was a real good pitch. Put it in a good spot. Started it middle, fell out of the zone, and O'Malley doing a good job holding back.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and another good inning by Ryan Dahl. A couple of strikeouts. 7th inning stretch here at the Coliseum on a beautiful day, and the A's trailing 3-0. Sashi Iwakuma pitching extremely well. 6 shutout innings so far. He's retired 7 in a row. He's got a walk and 3 strikeouts. He's kind of doing his thing. He doesn't necessarily overpower you, but he knows how to pitch as he faces Laurie, Butler, and Smolinski. First pitch down and away. Laurie has hit a fly ball to left field. He has popped to second. Pitch number 70 coming up for Iwakuma. And that is right on the outside corner, 1-1. That tight race in the AL East continues with both the Blue Jays and the Yankees winning today. Blue Jays beat the Orioles 10-4. Estrada over Tillman. Tulowitzki, Pilar, and Batista homered for the Blue Jays. It is just bombs away when you play with them.
What a scary line
in Toronto. Another giant crowd at Rogers Center. Marte has it. And Laurie is retired, 1 away. And that'll bring up Butler. Yankees beat the Rays 6-4. Nova over Archer. Alex Rodriguez hit a home run, his 28th of the year. I can't imagine the Yankees thought they would get 28 home runs from Alex Rodriguez this year.
Not a lot of people would.
He now has 682 in his career. The Rays led that game for a while, but so both the Yankees and the Blue Jays win. The lead is 1.5 for Toronto. Next weekend, actually starting on Thursday, it'll be a 4-game series. The Blue Jays at the Yankees. How about that?
That's going to be a good one.
That's a good one. Starting Thursday night again in New York.
I think the last time they were in New York, they swept them too.
I think you're right. Butler belts one deep to right center. That's hit well. That's got a chance to go, and that baby is gone. Hit off the concrete up in front of the seats, and Butler has the A's on the board. So home run number 10 for Butler, and it has been a while for Billy Butler. His first home run in 38 games. So that has to make him feel good.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the Athletics, batting for Smolinski, number 4, Coco Chris.
So it has been a while, but Butler strikes. He has been swinging a hot bat lately. So Reddick comes out into the on-deck circle, and Coco Crisp is already in the batter's box. He's pinch hitting for Smolinski. Some pinch hitting notes on the A's. It's been good lately. Close pitch, a little inside. Del Nuno, the left-hander, starts to throw. Coco tries to hold up. That's the split finger.
Just a really good pitch. Starts it about belt high and ends up below the zone, and Coco can't lay off of it.
And that one is line to left, and that's a hit. So a home run and a single with 1 out.
Billy staying back on that split finger, one of the few that's Iwakuma left out. Just kind of spun up there, said hit me. Billy didn't miss it. We talked about hitters going the opposite field. There's been a few home runs hit towards that Xfinity sign. Hits the concrete, bounces back. Walsh giving high fives.
Sucre comes out to talk to Iwakuma. They're just giving the relievers a little extra time as Tony Zick, the right-hander, gets up. And Zick. And Lloyd McClendon pops out of the dugout. He wants the left-hander. So Reddick pinch hitting, and as soon as Lloyd McClendon saw that, he wants a left-hander to face Reddick. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
Are on sale now. Get on board early with 2016 priority seating and choose your exact seating location for next season. The A's offer a variety of full and partial season plans that qualify for great benefits, including half-price parking, a flexible ticket exchange program, and more. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit athletics.com/2016.
So Iwakuma is out 6 1/3. He pitched well, but in this case you can sort of see where Lloyd McClendon's coming from, Xavi.
Definitely.
Iwakuma against Reddick, maybe just a matchup that he didn't like, and he wants the lefty to face Reddick. First pitch is outside. Nuno 0-3 with a 3.30 ERA. Sogard is in the on-deck circle. And now it's 2-0. Reddick, right center field, and that's a base hit. Coco all the way around to third, and the A's have first and third. So Reddick spoils the Lloyd McClendon strategy with a base hit against the left-hander. And Sogard's being called back.
Yeah, this was a slider up in the zone, and Josh, much like the A's pinch hitters the last few weeks, have been doing a really good job, having a lot of success, getting a pitch he can handle. Coco going first to third. A's mounting a little comeback right here. Just a great job by the pinch hitters by the A's.
Yep. So now Rasmussen, the left-hander, gets up. Zick, number 55. He's the right-hander. He's ready. And the pinch hitter for the A's is going to be Simeon.
I like this matchup for the A's right here. Yeah. And I think this is the right move. Bringing in Tony Zick. He pitched the other night. He looked extremely well. Made his debut. Got a couple strikeouts, I believe.
So the right-hander Zick will come in to face Simeon, and we'll take a break. He's making some noise here in the 7th. And it's all coming up this evening at 6 and 10:30. It's on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. All the highlights from this ball game between the A's and the Mariners, and highlights from all the pennant races in Major League Baseball. And Steph Curry is in China. Kelly Johnson and Henry Wolford will host. So it's 3-1. A's have runners at first and third, 1 out. Butler has already homered in the inning. When Tony Zick comes in, right-hander who pitched on Friday night, and he faces Simeon. First pitch, swing and a miss.
Tony does have a pretty good slider. He's got that good fastball, mid-90s. And a put-away slider. Looked good the other night.
One delivery, dying away. 1-1 account. Kenzig's up. Reddick with his lead at first. Coco's over at third. Straight back, 1-2. So the inning started with a ground out by Laurie, and then Butler homer. Coco crisp with a pinch hit single. Reddick with a pinch hit single. Outside, so 3 straight pinch hitters for the A's. Outfield shifted toward left center. Simeon's got a big gap in right center. Is in the A's bullpen. Reddick's got a little lean going. Don't know that he was necessarily going, but he's got a little lean. Zick delivers outside, 3-2. Well, maybe Reddick takes off here. We'll see.
Yeah, I think you almost have to. You got to try to avoid that double play, get that run in from third, at least make it a one-run ball game.
And chased the pitch out of the strike zone, and Zick gets a big strikeout for 2 outs.
Yeah, threw 4 or 5 sliders in this at bat, and that one a little bit down and away.
Center fielder, number 1, Phillies.
Marcus trying to protect.
Iwakuni can just sit and watch, but he sees his relief pitcher get a big out there, and now Burns will hit. First pitch to Burns. Shallow, right center field, and it is caught by O'Malley. Well, he came out of nowhere. So O'Malley makes a terrific play. The A's get just the one on the Butler home run. So the 8th inning is coming up. It's now 3-1 Seattle.
Operating system allows you to record 4.
PSN California is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
Top of the 8th inning. It's a 3-1 Mariners lead. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. Drew Pomeranz comes in. So Pomeranz, 46th appearance, including 9 starts. And he'll face Marte, Seager, and Romero. So some changes for the A's. Coco Crisp is now in left field. Josh Reddick is now in right field. And there's more. So Crisp in left, Reddick in right. Simeon is now at short. Ken is now at first. Oh, and there's more. We're not done yet. This is spring training, folks. We got a new catcher, Stephen Vogt. So Crisp in left, Reddick in right, Simeon at short, Canna at first, Vogt is the catcher. Those are the the new positions and some of the new players. 3-0 pitch is a strike to Ketel Marte, who was 1 for 3, RBI single in the 5th. And that got Stephen Vogt, and he goes down.
Oh no.
Well, you can sort of take a guess on this one, Xavi, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think him rolling around kind of said it all.
It's Carson Blair, who is the 3rd catcher. Generally, with the expanded rosters in September, teams will always call up a 3rd catcher.
Yeah, I'm not even sure that he can make it back there. Continue this game. That's painful.
So Blair's going to head to the dugout and get himself ready.
Oh my goodness, wow.
Wow. So Blair will come in, and Stephen Vogt, we're thinking about you. And man, you just hate to see that. Wow.
I mean, it seems like every game he goes back there, he takes a ball somewhere.
Yes, he does.
He takes a beating back there, and he was playing first all day today, feeling comfortable, everything going good. And you have all these switches. First batter, foul tip.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen, for the Athletics.
So Blair will talk it over.
Carson Blair, now catching. This is his major league debut.
So major league debut, Carson Blair. Get the heck in there. So he gets a nice ovation from the fans. But it's time to get to work. And they will let him catch a few. This is for Blair, not for Pomerantz.
His heart rate has got to be extremely high right now. I mean, he's sitting down there, not even thinking there was a chance for him to get in this game, and all of a sudden, boom, get loose, kid. Not exactly the way you want to make your debut, but nonetheless, pretty excited about it. See if he can control his emotions.
So Carson Blair will hit third in the order. So the count is 3-2. And the Pitch is chopped right side. It's a fair ball. Canna grabs it, steps on the bag, 1 away.
Number 15,
so here's Seager.
Kyle Seager.
Carson Blair was called up from AAA. He went to spring training as a non-roster invitee with the A's. A couple stops this year for Blair, AA and AAA. Seager goes after the first pitch, fouls it off the screen. 9th inning in Anaheim, 7-0 Angels over the Rangers. Seager today is 0 for 1. He has walked and he has hit a sacrifice fly and he has hit a fly ball to right field. Seager has 5 RBIs in this series, raising his total to 60 on the year. And he's got another hit. Line drive to right field. Canna with a good effort could not come up with it. So hit number 6.
And he goes back with that curveball, grabs a little bit more of the plate than he wanted, and you can't do that to a hot hitter. Yeah, he's just seeing the ball extremely well right now. Mark going to his right, diving, but hit too hard for him to get there.
So here's Stephan Romero, his 4th at bat. He's 0 for 3. Fastball from Pomeranz is high. Cano to follow here in the top of the 8th inning. He's got a run back in the bottom of the 7th. And now it's 2-0. Seager decent lead at first, and it's fouled straight backs. Ryan Dull goes another good inning with a couple of strikeouts, so he took care of the 7th inning. So that's 4 appearances for Dull, and he's been good in all 4. So a very, very small sample size, obviously, but he's not intimidated. That's
not at all. No fear whatsoever.
So now the count 3-1. Infield double play depth, looking for a ground ball off the bat of Romero. And it's hit over the Mariners dugout. Romero jammed a little bit. Let's check out the fan catch. And a good one. So no glove needed there. Runner goes. They got it picked off, and the tag by Simeon. Seager's out, and that's the second out. So it goes as a caught stealing.
Yeah, and he's first moving him here. I don't know why it's a 3-2 count. As soon as he picks up his legs, he takes off, and Drew picks him off.
So the count 3-2 to Romero. Hustling over, and nobody's going to get it as it drops right in front of the Mariners dugout. So the full count remains. Logan Kensing. He's warming up like he's coming in. Another fastball in on the hands, and again looped foul. Pomeranz pounding that inside part of the plate to Romero.
Yeah, staying in the upper part of the zone too.
Laurie to his right has it. Side retired. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Carson Blair, the young catcher just put in the game, is going to hit second. We'll look forward to that. 3-1 Mariners lead.
May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Today's game summary is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 3-6-0 for the Mariners, 1-6-0 for the Athletics. Iwakuma was very good, pitched into the 7th inning. Big series for Kyle Seager. Sean Nolan making his A's debut. Pitched well, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, and Billy Butler's first home run in 38 games. So bottom of the 8th, he's trying to avoid being swept, but they are trailing 3-1. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. It's Logan Kensing coming on to pitch, his 8th appearance. Kensing pitched against the A's last week in Seattle and earlier in this series. He'll face Canna, Blair, and Valencia. Canna just got a piece of that one.
And that got a piece of sucre in the fell tip right to the face mask. Those never feel good either. It's more of a shock than anything. Man, let's hope Steven's okay, because that looked like it was really painful.
Hitting a walk for Canna today. And he's got a base hit to left field to lead things off. So it's a good start for the A's here in the 8th. Hit number 7, and here's the first major league at bat for Carson Blair.
Carson Blair.
Combined numbers in AA and AAA, 252, 9 homers, 37 RBIs. First big league at bat, and he takes a slider that missed inside. Born in Argyle, Texas, originally a draft pick of the Red Sox back in 2008. So he's been waiting for this for a while. Wilhelmsen, the closer, gets up. Rollins, the left-hander. So every bullpen mound is occupied at the moment. Welcome to September baseball. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
I've been watching Carson take BP the last few days, and he's got a really good swing. He's got a good path to the ball. He's got some power. Got some pop in his bat. Right there, it looked like he had some pretty good hand speed too. He goes with no batting gloves. I don't know how hitters could do that. I never could.
There's a few out there that do. Now he's behind in the count, 1-2. Valencia will be next. It's a final. The Angels beat the Rangers 7-0. So the Angels take 2 out of 3, and the Angels now 2.5 back at Texas for the second wild card spot. And for the Rangers, that loss drops them 3 back in the division behind the first place Astros. Blair checks his swing.
It comes back with a slider right here down in the dirt. Blair able to hold up, keeping his emotions in check.
Canna, the runner at first. Another good take, and it's 3-2.
Send the runner last time 3-1 or 3-2, so I doubt he's going to send him here with a rookie hitter, first at bat in the big leagues ever.
Inside, he walked it. 2 on, nobody out, and now the big hitters are coming up.
Very nice at bat right there by Blair. Having to come in and spell Stephen Vogt after the foul tip. Gets his first big league at bat with a walk.
So Kensing steps well behind the mound, rubs up the baseball. Valencia today, a ground out, a strikeout, and a fly ball in the left field. Lansing in trouble in the bottom of the 8th. And that slider called a strike. That has not been a strike this inning. It wasn't to Blair.
Yeah, that looked like the same pitch to Blair. You're right, as a backup slider. Yeah,
that's not really that close.
Yeah, that definitely missed the plate. Came around the plate. But Danny, ever since he's got here, he's been the hot hitter. He's been the right guy. This is the right guy from the right situation for the A's right now.
Fastball, 92 miles an hour. For a couple big hits here in the bottom of the 8th. Laurie will be next. And that one through the catcher Sucre, and both the runners move up. Now it's second and third, nobody out.
Yeah, just a slider here. It looks like the slider is his go-to pitch. And just goes right through the bucket hole right there from Sucre. Looked like a pretty blockable ball right there. He just missed it.
But have not heard the ruling wild pitch or pass ball. So it's a wild pitch. The count 2-1. Now 3-1.
Yeah, and that's a good job by Danny right there. He didn't get the call. That backup slider, he fell behind in the count 0-1, and he stayed calm, laid off a tough slider, laid off a tough fastball right there down.
Valencia grounds it in the hole. It's going to get a run home. Marte throws just in time to get Valencia. So Canna comes in to score to make it a 3-2 game and give Valencia the RBI on the ground out.
Yeah, and he goes back to that slider again. Just out in front, just a little bit. I think in that count he was looking to get a fastball and drive it. Just able to get him off the end of the bat right there, and Canna coming home to score.
So Lloyd McClendon's going to go to Wilhelmsen with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. To CSNCA Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile, and that is Samantha Kepler, and she's with Stephen Vogt, and Stephen left the game earlier. hope Steven knows that we're thinking about him and we hope he's okay. So 3-2, A's have scored a run and they have a chance to tie it up here with a base hit. First pitch to Laurie from Tom Wilhelmsen is down and away. Wilhelmsen is the closer. And when McClendon realizing that the save may be right here in the 8th inning. In fact, it is.
Right. And he's really had a good year, especially lately. 9 for 9 in save opportunities. Kind of reinventing himself. Had a real good year a couple years ago. Kind of struggled a little bit. Got demoted from the closer role. Now he's worked his way back in and he's throwing the ball extremely well right now.
2-0 to Laurie. Butler will be next. And it's 3-0, not close.
Yeah, I think if you're Brett, if you get that fastball down the middle right here, you go ahead and take a whack at it.
Here it is, and it's on the outside corner.
Yeah, not the pitch you wanted to swing at right there. Good take.
So 3-1 with Blair the tying run at second base. And this one's popped up. It was a breaking ball. Miller, the second baseman, is out there, and Miller has it.
Brett was all over that pitch right there. Looked like he was looking for it, got it, put a really good swing on it. It was a slider, a 3-1 slider. Right over the middle of the plate. Oh, man. What a good swing. Just missed it. And Brett's been really good in those situations pretty much the whole year.
So 2 outs, and now it's up to Butler. Butler is 2 for 3 today. And the first pitch to Wilhelmsen, big overhand curves, swung on and missed.
Yeah, Billy reaching back right here, getting a hanging split finger from Iwakuma. The first mistake he made in the ball game was looking good all game, and Billy didn't miss it.
Butler grounds this one to short. Tough hop. Marte stays with it in time. And that'll do it for the A's. They get a run. So it's now 3-2 after 8. 9th inning coming up. will open up a series against the Houston Astros. It'll be Fires in Dubron tomorrow. It's a day game. Our coverage starts at 12:30. And then you got a night game on Tuesday and a night game on Wednesday. So tomorrow the first of three, and it's the first place Astros in town. So make sure you join us for that. Astros won today. They are 75-62, and they have a 3-game lead over the Rangers in the AL West. So Doolittle comes in, and he'll face Cano, Trumbo, and Morrison here in the ninth, trying to keep it a 3-2 game. Cano is 0 for 3 today. Two for 13 in the series. And it's a quick 0-2, 92 miles an hour from Doolittle.
Definitely be looking forward to that matchup with Sonny Gray and Scotty Kazmir. Should be a dandy right there.
2 pitch, foul back. Yeah. Keuchel won pitch today, and he won, so the A's will not see the left-hander. Good outing for Doolittle on Friday. He had a couple of strikeouts, and each appearance, Eric, the fastballs had just a little more life.
Yeah, it just continues to build that confidence.
Had a Cano 0-2. Fastball outside. Doolittle is the 4th pitcher for the A's today.
Looked like this one just missed the plate over the chalk line right there. I think that was a pretty good call.
Burns is under it, and Cano is retired. So Robinson Cano, quiet afternoon. He's 0 for 4. And now Trumbo steps in.
Now batting, number 35.
Bottom of the ninth,
Mark
it'll be Crisp,
Trumbo.
Reddick, and Simeon, and Wilhelmsen will go back out there. Trumbo's 0 for 3. He had a couple of fly balls to right field and a pop out to short. And that one at 93 miles an hour. Doolittle's first appearance since coming back from the disabled list. It was at 90.
Yeah, getting a little bit more life. He got away with that one right there. I think a few weeks back that ball would have been hit pretty hard.
Trumbo will get a new bat.
But we talk about life on a fastball. Velocity doesn't always tell you the whole story. You look at Ryan Dole, his fastball 90-91, but it's got life to it. Now Sean's gaining confidence in his recovery and is airing it out now, letting it go, and his fastball has life to it again.
One-two pitch popped up and it'll reach the seats. Sometimes the area where the foul ball goes will tell you about the life on somebody's fastball. Guys maybe just a little late. Those guys are ready. And that one is drilled toward the gap. Nobody's going to get it. So Mark Trumbo That fastball looked like it was just down a little bit and maybe just a little easier to handle. So
Yeah,
one out double.
This one had to do with location, didn't have to do with velocity. He did get it down just a little bit. He was staying on the upper part of the zone, and Mark was having trouble getting there.
Attention, please, ladies and
Well, that's a
gentlemen.
good swing right there. He's a big man. He's a streaky hitter, but he didn't miss that fastball from Doolittle right there.
So Smith is pinch running. Seth Smith. And here's Morrison. First pitch just touch outside. Morrison is 1 for 3 today. He's 5 for 12 in the series with 5 RBIs. His hit today was a single in the 5th. Long look by Doolittle trying to come together with Carson Blair. And it's 2-0. Everything's complete in the American League. Fastball, and Morrison took a rip at it. The nationally televised game tonight is Pittsburgh at St. Louis. Not too shabby there, huh? A couple of very good teams.
Yep.
The 3 teams in the National League Central: St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Chicago. First place, second place, third place in that division, but they also own the 3 best records in the National League.
Right. And there's some experts who say that Pittsburgh's better than St. Louis.
Well,
I don't get that.
Morrison again, foul.
I know they don't do a lot of things that are sexy, but man, they play really good baseball. And they don't have a player who really just kind of jumps out at you with numbers. And talked about the importance of having a catcher, and Yadier Molina's definitely that guy. He is the best catcher we got in the game right now, and he's been for a while. And the way he controls the game is just amazing.
Another foul ball. The Cardinals 87 and 48. But you think about the Cubs. The Cubs winning percentage is .575. There's only one other team in the American League that has a better winning percentage than that. But the Cubs are going to be they're going to be playing on the road in a wild card game.
Right.
And there's just not a whole lot you can do about it.
But I think if you ask them, they'd be just fine.
Yeah, well, that's true. They're not complaining.
They definitely arrived a year earlier than everybody thought. But this pitch just misses, comes with a straight fastball, 4-seamer. That looked like it just missed the plate a little bit too. Mark's been pretty good today. Not a whole lot of complaining going on.
3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Doolittle gets Morrison, and now he'll face Brad Miller.
Yeah, and there's nothing to it. Sean says, I'm coming right at you. I'm going to rear back, throw my 94.
Number 5, Brad
Pretty much
Miller.
use that fastball the whole at bat. And you can tell he's got his life back. When you can throw one pitch and still get hitters out, you know that one pitch is pretty good.
Here's Miller. Miller's got 2 hits. Foul tips that one. 93 miles an hour on the fastball.
And I firmly believe the greatest feat that was accomplished in Major League Baseball is Mariano Rivera being able to throw one pitch his whole career. And that's just, to me, it just boggles my mind. And he dominated the league too.
Miller pops it up. Valencia fighting the sun, shading his eyes. He's got it side retired. Bottom of the ninth. It's a 3-2 Mariners lead. It'll be Chris, Reddick, and Simeon coming up.
Wasn't overpowering, but he hit his spots, he mixed his pitches, had the A's hitters off balance pretty much all day. Maybe the one mistake to Billy Butler, the hanging split, but after skipping a start, came back and threw a real nice ball game versus the A's today.
So the new left fielder for the Mariners is Seth Smith. Wilhelmsen stays out there. He's wrapping up his warm-up tosses. Mariners will head home for a 10-game homestand after today. They'll play the Rangers tomorrow night. The A's will stay home and play the first place Houston Astros. So Wilhelmsen, who got the final 2 outs in the 8th inning, is trying to get a 5-out save. Here's Coco. He'll be followed by Reddick and then Simeon. First pitch at the knees for a strike. Wilhelmsen took a little off there, dropped it in.
Yeah, that looks like a changeup right there. I think the A's are going to have to get on that slider. That's the pitch he really wants to throw.
Base hit, pinch hitting in the 7th inning. Taps this one slowly. Miller handles a tough hop and he throws out Coco, and that was a nice play by Brad Miller.
Yeah, very nice play. Brad showing his versatility. Shortstop to center to second, comes in with the tough hop, throws out a speedy Coco Crisp.
Much more difficult play than it looked. That's that in-between hop. So now Reddick will bat. Reddick had a pinch hit single in the 7th inning. foul. Remember, day baseball tomorrow on Labor Day. 1:05 first pitch. A's and the Astros. 1-2 pitch. Hit in the air, right center, and fighting that sun is O'Malley, and he makes the catch. So 2 outs, and now it's up to Simeon.
Now batting shortstop, number 10,
Simeon needs to get
Simeon.
Billy Burns in at bat, who needs to get Canna in at bat. First pitch breaking ball, a little bit high. Simeon also pinch hit in the 7th inning. He struck out. Now the count 1-1. And that was a big at bat because at the time the A's had 1st and 3rd, 1 out, trailing 3-1. But Simeon struck out and Burns hit a fly ball to center field. And there's a line drive, and that's a base hit. A's never seem to go quietly. So a 2-out single keeps the ball game going.
Talking about that last at bat by Marcus. He swung at a 3-2 slider in the dirt. This one hangs over the middle of the plate. Marcus does not miss it. You're right, the A's do. They fight hard all the way to the end.
So now Burns will step in. Billy looking for his first hit today. Take that back. He got a hit in the 3rd. He's 1 for 4. First pitch to Burns. Off the plate, 1-0. Simeon with the lead and a quick throw to first. The Mariners are playing Burns to hit the ball the other way big time. You see where O'Malley, the center fielder, is well into left center. Fairly shallow. Smith fairly shallow in left. Ball in the gap, and Simeon's got very, very good speed. I think the outfield probably playing a little deeper than they normally would with Billy Burns, because really, see, they're playing no doubles Billy Burns style.
Right, and even I think it was 2 games ago, Miller was in center. It was late in the ball game, just like this, and Billy hit a ball in the gap and almost got it by Miller.
And there is a base hit left field. Burns just slapped it the other way. 2 on, 2 out in the 9th. So now Williamson's going to have to face Canna.
Yeah, nice job right there by Billy. Keeping the line moving. Stays on that fastball away. Slaps it in the hole. McClendon is getting his frequent flyer miles out there, isn't he?
There he goes. Yes, he has. He's made this walk quite a bit in this series. Canna will try to tie it or win it. He's got a walk-off this year. It was August 2nd, and it was against the Indians. Off Cody Allen, pretty good closer. And that's game winner, folks. Almost looked like there was some anger in that. There wasn't, but it looked like. So here's Canna. He's 2 for 3 today. He's 5 for 11 in this series. 2 singles, a walk, and a run scored this afternoon. field plays Canna to pull. O'Malley into left center field. Excellent speed on the bases. The tying and winning runner out there. And Canna goes around, says Mark Carlson. Don't know if he called it on the swing or the pitch.
Yeah, Mark was asking Mark the same question too, on the swing or the pitch.
He called it like it was on the pitch.
Yeah, I think it was on the call too, because he did check his swing. Tough pitch.
So Canna behind in the count 0-1. And that one floats inside.
Yeah, you can kind of see he's a little inconsistent with that slider. Sometimes it has good breakdown. Sometimes it's backing up on him. So I think Mark's going to look for the one that just kind of spins up. Doesn't try to do too much with it. And just knock in Simeon and tie this ball game up.
In the dirt, Sucre blocks it. So the count even. The count now 2-1.
Yeah, Sucre had one go through his wickets last inning, and this one he slides over, closes up that hole.
Well, here's a thought for you, Aaron. If you're Wilhelmsen, do you pitch carefully to Canna because you got a rookie in the on-deck circle, Carson Blair?
No, this is the hitter you want to attack right here. You don't want to load the bases.
That one, a good swing, and it got a good piece of Sucre. That was the pitch to hit, and Canna just missed it.
That was. Fastball right there, right down the middle. Good swing. Just misses it. And again, Sucre takes one off the face mask. Yeah, right down the middle. Just misses it. See his eyes just pull off a little bit. If he could keep those eyes on the ball a little bit longer.
So the count even 2-2. Simeon at second. Burns at first. Wilhelmsen delivers to left. Smith is back and he reaches up. He makes the catch. And the A's come up just a bit short here in the bottom of the ninth. And it is a 3-game sweep by the Seattle Mariners. So a tough weekend for the Athletics, and they have now lost 5 games in a row. Today's game took 3 hours right on the button. 19,534 saw it, and so the Mariners are playing well. They themselves have won 5 in a row. Final score: the Mariners 3, the A's 2. You've been watching A's baseball on CSN California. It's part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Brody Brazil and Shooty Babbitt starts right now.
Hey, take care.